Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of our podcast. Today, we host Elwira Majewska and Grzegorz Wiktorski, UX designers at Authentica, and we will talk about processes. In this case, the process for the discovery phase, the initial stage of our collaboration with a new client, and generally how we start working with a newsroom. Hello, Grzegorz and Elwira. Hi.
Hi.
We know that the discovery phase is essential when starting a collaboration with a new client. But why? And why is it so important to have a transparent process for it?
Let's admit it. Media are complex organisms. So when designing a new solution for them, we need to rely on proven processes. We don't want to say, we'll see, we'll figure it out later. We don't want any white spaces in the design plan. So we want to give the client a well-defined scope of work and clear pricing. And that's why we have developed a process that ensures a smooth collaboration. Our team learns how the newsroom works, as well as the client's business needs and goals, so that in the end, the client gets a concrete scenario of what will happen. The discovery phase is crucial at the beginning of any collaboration. We must penetrate the system to the bone and learn as much as we can. All this to deliver a functional solution that client's team will love, and that will help them achieve the business goals. For us, there is no room for will season. We let the client know what to expect and give him or her a clear idea of what's coming next.
What is important? We don't just point out CMS weaknesses. We see the big picture, users, workflows, habits, and behaviors. We see all that happens in the workplace around tools and software. All that can be crucial to develop an optimal solution. Of course, the details of any collaboration depends on many aspects, but we have a basic framework in place.
So, what happens at the very, very beginning of the collaboration?
First, we have an initial meeting. Its goal is to learn the basics about the media company. Most important numbers, structure, and workflows. We also define the fundamental of our collaboration, such as communication channels, people involved, and tech stack. This meeting is crucial to understand how the organization works, how many people work in each newsroom, and what tools they use. We also need to understand the client's general situation and plans for the future, and why client need us to do the project. All this help us plan our work and present a realistic schedule to the client.
Then, what are some of the questions you ask at this meeting when you begin the collaboration?
As usual in our UX world, everything depends. But generally speaking, we ask some basic questions about the general state of the company, such as what is the organizational structure or the editorial structure, and how are the roles in the editorial team distributed? These questions are to get the idea of the cross-section of the entire company. Or we may ask, how many people work in each newsroom and also in the IT or design departments? Or what are the basic workflows in the newsrooms? Is there a remote work or hybrid work more involved? Or what kind of content is produced? Or finally, what tools does the editorial team use? What is the general opinion about those tools? Are they internal or external, and why? Also, we want to get some basic knowledge about the innovations the client has introduced recently and their future plans for technological development. Then we ask more specific questions about the project itself. Who will be involved? Who will be early adopters here? And who are the key stakeholders at each stage of the project? This is why we usually meet with many teams, from IT through product owners, newsroom representatives, graphics and design teams, and even C-level executives. We just need a full pack of information before we start.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense. And what happens next in the discovery process?
So we have a main strategic meeting with the key business stakeholders involved in the whole project. We meet to learn the project's primary goals and grasp the big picture, the business vision and motivation for change. During this meeting, we ask stakeholders why they want the change, what has already been done on the topic, and what challenges they encountered along the way.
All this allows us to understand the business perspective of the project. We are UX designers, but to design a good product, we need to understand the business motivation behind it. We know that sometimes business and user needs differ, so it's important to hear arguments from both sides. This allows us to produce a clear scope of work at the end of the discovery phase.
Do you also go through any documents or manuals during this process?
Sure, we do. We always analyze the documentation to learn how CMS works. It helps us shorten the overall research phase. Reviewing manuals and instructions can save time because we do not have to ask users about them again. The more documentation the client has, the less time we spend looking for details. But if there is no documentation, it is not a problem for us. Then we obtain all information directly from the users.
What I like to add is that we also usually have a product owner give us the product demo and walk us through the existing system to see how it works. That approach also saves time because we start the phase of conversation later on already with a basic knowledge.
So are conversations the next step in your work?
Yeah, but first we do some quantitative research and run surveys on a bigger group. It can be, let's say, 50 or 100 or more people. That helps us get an overview of the state of software and processes and learn as much as possible about existing user problems. Questions in our surveys are detailed and exhaustive, giving us knowledge of how the current tools work and how users engage with them during their onboarding process. The scope of the surveys allows us to list the most common and burning issues.
Surveys help us prepare for IDIs, individual in-depth interviews with users. We talk to selected people such as journalists, editors, and chief editors with different work experience who use the system every day. We do this to learn more about their work and put ourselves in their shoes. IDIs help us go deeper into the topics we already know from the previous research phases and add an emotional layer to them. When we talk to people face-to-face, users are often more open and willing to share their observations and problems.
But as far as I know, you don't just talk to users, you also observe them during the phase that is called ethnographic research, about which, by the way, we recorded a separate episode.
Yep, that's true. Ethnographic research is also an important part of the discovery phase because observing users in their natural work environment, such as a newsroom, helps us uncover needs and pain points that we may not have caught with other research methods. By more extended and immersive observation and data collection, we get a more complete picture of the situation in a newsroom.
We also do focus groups, workshops with selected new departments, which allows us to focus on their specific problems. At the same time, we hold weekly meetings with key stakeholders to share conclusions and sum up our work.
So what's the outcome of the discovery phase and how long does it usually take?
The timeline depends on many aspects, but to give you a rough estimation based on our previous experience, it is usually from 10 to 12 weeks. And as for the outcome of a discovery, at the end, the client gets extensive documentation with the synthesis of problems and challenges of the existing system, tools and processes, and so on. We summarize our findings and conclusions and define the scope and foundations of future solution.
The main goal of the discovery phase is to understand the problems of the users and propose solution how to solve them. The client gets a clear vision of what must be done and what the scope of the work will be.
What is important here is that we always try to design a solution that addresses a particular problem. So newsrooms are very different. There is never a one-size-fits-all solution, right? This is why we need all this time and effort to avoid the trial and error method and focus on what's really necessary for them. Being outsiders helps. We're objective and impartial in our observations, and we're not there to just say the client has a faulty system. We're here to design the best possible solution, a solution that will be functional for the users and make the client achieve their business goals.
Thank you so much for your answers. I encourage everyone to check out other episodes of our experts' voice. And if you want to learn more about processes we developed at Authentica, check out also our blog and our YouTube channel. Thank you, Grzegorz and Elwira. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And talk to you soon.